For my analysis, I wanted to analyze what was the reaction of American voters 10 days later the actual election day. I collected two datasets of tweets containing a set of hashtags and links. Various hashtags are associated with the election, and to provide a general view of the discussion, I chose two generic hashtags, which are Election 2020 and Legal Votes Only, as my seed. My data was collecting using an API from Netlytic. This dataset consists of 116 selected tweets from November 18th to November 24th. I used the filter to sort my data. I decided to analyze only the tweets of users with less than 1,000 and 1,500 followers from American states and in English language. I only want to analyze the original tweets, so I decided not to use the retweets. Then I created columns with my notes in order to categorize my data. I used column to keep track of the thoughts of the tweets, which could be pro or against about the post votes, column to see whether people use repeated keywords and hashtag, and column to see if the tweets contain videos or images. After that, I coded my results in order to create different tables for an immediate understanding of the results. I noticed that my results for both the hashtag I decided to use were similar regarding the links, images, videos, and hashtag, but they were different on what the average American think of the post votes and the use of common words. When I did a visually resume of my analysis, I ended up with different results. For the hashtag election 2020, the majority of people agreed with the post votes, and more than half of the tweets had in common the same words. There were more written text than images and video, and all of them had at least one hashtag. Instead, for the hashtag legal votes only, the majority of people disagreed with the post votes, and more than half of the tweets had any common words. In this kind of tweets, insults were preferred. There were more written text than images. Of course, all of them contained at least one hashtag. Speaking of common words, I decided to create a word cloud with the more common one, in which the bigger the word is written down, the more common it appears inside the tweets. During the analysis, I encountered some limitation. Some of the tweets were not immediately understandable, and I decided only to analyze Twitter, so I cannot say to have a large point of view on the American voters. I did not know what political party the author belongs to, and some tweets only contained hashtag and or emoji. It was a difficult process to automate, so I ended up with a manually coding. I could code the data from my subjective perspective because of my understanding of American politics. So I think this cannot provide a general opinion. In conclusion, considering the sample selected and analyzed, I think the sample is not sufficient to affirm what the average American think of the post vote. What is admissible, understandable is that votes of American voters are polarized towards two different votes, but they share one similarity, which is the problem with the result of the election day had been the votes coming in envelopes.